What's up? Y'all hear me? Uh, Let me announce that live. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, man? Can y'all see me? We good? Can you hear me okay? Let me know, because I don't have 800 billion degree vision. I will post. We are live. Hear me? Cool. All right. What's up? What's up, gamers? Been a minute since I've done anything. I promise I haven't disappeared. I actually have a lot prepared in the background. It's just kind of having to fall into place, especially a lot with Pyra. So I'm just trying to get the final pieces of the puzzle sorted there. The TLDR, I can tell you this much right now. Pyra does have plans for 2022, and they are tournaments. That is about as much as I can say, because until we have venues and everything else, and, you know, decisions made and budgets set and all that stuff, I can't really announce anything, because I'm not even sure what we're doing. I'm not positive of what the game plan is for the year. But I have my general idea on what I want to do set. So that's that. Another thing, I'm not sure how good the quality of the stream is. I'm actually testing out YouTube's stream from a from like your webcam instead of streaming from a software type thing. So it's not as fancy schmancy. It's a little just my camera and my mic, but look at this. Baby. Got some Cheetah cups, but these are the mediums. Like, they have the shiny rims. I just got these like today. And I'm testing that out. I also go back and make sure this says 1080p. It's not 60 FPS. Unfortunate. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure it wasn't flipped by accident. Speaking of, kind of interested in the format, but I'm not sure I'd be able to attend it any due to attendance limitations and splash and speed wise. Well, we don't have any plans for limiting stackers based on speed. It's basically going with the assumption that, like, I'm going to spoil a little bit, but we plan to have an in-person tournament next year. Highlight that word plan. I cannot say with absolute positivity that that is happening, but we plan to have another in-person tournament next year. But the attendance limitations is basically just going to be first come, first serve, with the exception of specific stackers that will get invited because of attending previous tournaments and their performances there. Just keep that in mind. And also, shout-outs Advanced for always keeping us hydrated at Pyra. They've helped out significantly with the First Strike event. That was awesome. And obviously, they've sent me some goodies as well. This was like an early Christmas present for me. It's the Tectone Advanced Shaker. This thing keeps anything you put in it cold. I'm not even like exaggerating. Obviously, I'm sponsored, so I'm biased. But I had ice cubes in here the other day. I put ice cubes in there at like 10 in the morning. 6 hours later, the ice cubes still hadn't melted. Keeps your drinks nice and cold. So I should have said cheers beforehand, but also blue raspberry. Can't go wrong. But yes, we got the new mediums. For comparison, mediums, regular size. It's actually not that small. It's like surprisingly not that small. I'm not sure how well you can hear me from this range, but Yeah, I'm not sure how well you can hear me from this range. Hopefully it's okay. But yeah, these are surprisingly, they're not that small. They're not medium size. Actually, no, this, I mean, if you're going to call it a medium cup, this is actually perfect medium size. So I've done like 3 cycles with these. So far, so good. They're actually very smooth. So let's keep stacking with them. I've never been particularly good with these medium type cups, but might as well goof off with them whilst I can. I can't even get the 3 done. Those actually look really, really fast. I don't know. I have to break these in before I can make any distinctions on them. They feel pretty good. That's a 607 scratch. Can't even get the 3 done every single time I pick up a cup. Mood. Wait, which one is maple syrup again? Is that Eris or is that Dylan Stone? I can't remember. Oh, Finn. The other brother. What's up, Finn? Ooh. Is this my new channel? Oh, okay. I can't keep track anymore. You dang Canadians. You and your maple syrup and freedom and better COVID rates. Where'd the cup go? Oh, there we go. See, when I stack like this, it makes me glad I retired. Too old for this to be consistent. I'll just stay being inconsistent. I'm chill with that. Wow, these are so slippery, though. Wow. Like, they don't feel slippery, they just are. Sounds weird, like, they don't feel slippery at all, they just are. Anyone who knows Teal Cheetahs knows what Key means by that. I mean, true. Yeah. Again, these probably just need breaking in. Ah. Wow, this is really hard to stack with, actually. Partly because I'm not, like, used to medium-sized anything. Alright, let's try actually getting a clean cycle with these. $6.54, baby. $6.54. We're on the board. That down stack was really good. 658. What's up, Billy? How you doing? Doing good. How are you? I'm doing good. Messing about with these new cups. I'm pretty shallow since I've actually wanted that set as well as the purple or blue KSSAs. Well, these are the mediums. These aren't the full size. Context. Can't win. Why did I do that? Are they on the KSSA website? I have no idea. I'm trying to at least get a 5 with these. I can't even upstack them properly. By the way, just really quickly, shout out to Advanced. Best energy drink in the game. You guys can use code KEYIN for 10% off. Man, keeps me hydrated. Woo! I drank a little bit too much at a time and it's cold. Oh. Cheeky plug. I mean, did you expect differently? Ow. Oh, I would say race for 5.0 since the record's the same, but I barely stopped. Bro, I retired. I'm not even trying to go for records anymore. I give up. I'm stacking to have fun, man. I stack to have fun. I do not go for records anymore. Damn it. Thought I had something there. What's up, Purple? How you doing? Good. Good to hear. Still subscribed. Hey, all good, all good. There we go. We got a 5, baby. 587. Felt like I felt one of the cups, like, broken already. Do people still not like the G5 timer? Yeah. I mean, I can't speak about it. I'm using the KSSA one, so. I like this timer, and it, you know, the buttons are durable, all that stuff, so. The G5 timer is now my boomerang and back scratcher. Damn. Damn, that was good. See, I know I can go faster, it's just so hard to, because it's hard to be consistent with these. Have you started those competitions yet? Yeah, we finished ours back in November. November? No. October, excuse me. Shoutouts Evan for winning. I still have the final bracket. In case anybody was curious as to how it went. So I made it all the way from the upper bracket round 1 to the grand finals. Evan, I beat Evan first round. This is me versus Evan. I beat him first round. Evan almost loses to Ethan in the lower bracket to go out last, but he beats Ethan there, runs all the way through the lower bracket, meets me in the grand finals, and beats the shit out of me. So shout out to Evan for winning. Bro. I don't know since the competition to look like so much fun on the vids I've seen. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, as a competitor, definitely like it gets you like in the moment, you know, as well. Like when they just say ready, set, go, and you've got to like there's no more warming up for it. There's no more going at your own pace. When they say go, you go. Bro, I can't even get a clean 3-3-3. Yeah, I surprised myself. I did extremely well. I didn't think I was going to beat Evan in the first round. I thought I was going straight to the lower bracket, where I had to face off against Ethan. I thought I was getting first rounded out of my own tournament, and I wouldn't have complained. But I actually ended up like 2-0ing Evan first round. And then I had Luke, I think was next. And I beat him. Then I had Trey, and Trey beat me. Or no, Trey beat me in one of the matches. It was best 2 out of 3 for matches. So Trey beat me in one of the matches. I beat him in one of the matches, and we go to a third match, and I clutch it out there. Good series, so the competition's gonna go. All right, see you later, Purple. There we go. 164, that was probably a hand grab at the end. I don't care. Those look cool. They're pretty cool. I'll take it. 211. My 3-3-3 is worse than my future. I feel that. There we go. I'm happy now. 198. I'm satisfied. Hold on a second. I'm screwing my mic stand in. There we go. Cool. All right, I'm going to chill for a little bit. If you guys want to talk about anything specifically, Pyra, I'm going to talk about it anyways because I can. But if you guys have any specific questions you want to ask me or anything like that, you're more than welcome to. About me, about Pyra, about whatever. Getting older, so I won't have that much time to stack since I'm off to college next year. I feel that. Hold on a sec, gamers. I'm just checking something real quick. Okay. Yeah, if y'all want to ask me on anything specific, let me know. I'm going to talk a little bit about my ideas for Pyra for next year, and then just kind of like what I want to go with and what we're actually going with, all that stuff. Like the TLDR of it is at some point in the future, obviously those will be probably a couple years down the line, I want to get Pyra into a franchise position to where we have franchise teams and a full-on franchise league where we have teams representing, stackers from all around the world. I think that's in the best interest of the sport. I think that if you look at the top sports all around the world, you see franchise leagues like this. MLB, NFL, NBA, all of these have specific teams representing specific regions, all that stuff. And obviously, like, I think it's important because obviously, everybody wants to represent their country proudly and properly. That's why you see so many stackers on so many teams. However, I've talked about, my bouts with Team USA and stuff when I was on it. And I understand I was on Team USA for 4 years. And, I will give them the benefit of the doubt because they have so many stackers. But at the same time, that's also like the problem's right there. Like, Team USA isn't just the only thing for the US because now you have state teams. You have state teams, and then you have the main team. So why are there so many people on the main team? It just doesn't make sense to me because as a competitive team, if you want to be able to properly manage it, how the hell are you going to try managing what's that, 150, 200 people that are still on Team USA currently? I'm not sure all of them are active, but still. Especially think about the coaches. I talked to Mark about this, Coach Sykes, for when he was coach of Team USA. And he basically told me, and we talked about it, you can coach, a team or a team of 10 to 20 people. You could properly coach them. You can actually watch over them. You can actually instruct them. You can actually analyze all of them, and you can balance that out. You can actually have proper training sessions and facilities, all that stuff. You can't train 150 to 200 people and be sane at the end of it. It's just impossible. You can't answer 2,500 different questions about how to properly fix their 363 downstack inconsistency, But with 10 or 20, you can do that. I mean, look at the Stackaroos. Look at Coach Ty, why he's revered as one of the best coaches in the world. That even though, Australia doesn't necessarily have the fastest stackers in the world, they have some really good names in there. That maybe not necessarily the fastest stackers. They're still consistently upsetting and beating teams that in theory should beat them every day of the week on paper. Look back at Taiwan. For International Challenge in Taiwan, Australia swept us. We just were not prepared. They were just ready to outstack us where it actually mattered and in the moment. Because those guys train rigorously and they actually have the ability to coach, I gotta know what you're doing is the right idea. I have to revise for my file soon. All good, Billy. How you doing, 619? How you doing, man? But like, you can't coach 150 to 200 people properly. You can coach 10 though. So my thought is, like, what's the point of state teams if you're not going to put stackers to represent their states there? That's the perfect opportunity for them. And then have actual state, like regional rivalries where these states can actually make their own teams and stuff. And like, it's not even just that. Like, you can get a little bit more creative with it for national rivalries as well. Like, it's not like just because I mean, again, look at franchise leagues. Just because I was born in California doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily be always stacking for the Los Angeles, cup stacking team. I'll probably, because I live here, I'll probably be stacking for the Delaware team or the Philly team or something, if I was on one of those teams. So my thought is, why not move everybody back down to state teams? And then every year, well, you'd start off with like, at most like 12 stackers. Actually, that's probably already pushing it in and of itself. But that's 3 teams. That's 3 head-to-head relay teams. And that's, a bunch of top stackers. So, you could have those stackers on Team USA itself. You can actually coach them. You can actually properly work with them. And it's a seasonal thing. They'll rotate out regularly. So if some stackers aren't going to tournaments, they're underperforming, whatever the case is, then you rotate them out with stackers that have been overperforming in state teams. Like, this is just sports, And then you can actually like have proper head-to-head teams that you can actually help with getting them to tournaments, helping with paying for their hotel fees and their flights, and like have them properly represent you. You can't do that with 150, 200 stackers, but you can do it with 10 or 12. And again, like the coaching, you can actually coach 10 to 12 stackers. That's easy. And you can actually look around them and work with them. Even then, like one single coach, I always tell teams, like, you should have one coach for every 5 to 6 stackers. So one coach per team, and then you have another coach for the next 5 to 6. That would be literally impossible in Team USA. Like, if you're going to push it at most, have, I don't know, one coach per 12 to 20 people, if you have to push it. But like, again, look at, the coaching staffs on, sports and esports teams. They'll have teams of like 4 to 5 people in some of those scenarios and have 4 to 5 coaches. And like, even if you're talking about like professional sports, like they have a team of like 12 people on the court for whatever game. And then they have, 4 to 6, maybe 8 people on the bench. And yet you'll see those coaching staffs are like 5 to 6 people. That's like one person. Like that's one coach for every like 1 or 2 people. Like there's so much more work you can do with managing numbers like that. I don't understand how that format's supposed to work out. I get it's supposed to be like an inclusive thing, but it should have always been the top stackers getting on the main team and then everybody else being rotated back down to state teams. So like, think of like Team USA as like the elite stackers of the world, the S tier stackers, and then state teams consisting of the A stackers and maybe some B tier stackers. And like, including, age divisions and, sex and all that stuff, with, the top males and top females and ages and stuff. But like, there's just too many stackers on Team USA for that to be properly managed. It just doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. That's always been one of my bigger criticisms is like, I never got benefits. Like, solely for being on Team USA, I did not get benefits other than a mat occasionally. Maybe a set of cups if I was lucky. But I don't even remember getting a set of cups throughout my time on Team USA. I was on Team USA for 4 years, remember? It's like I hate them. I want them to improve. I want stacking as a whole to improve. But, it's not going to just, like, somebody's got to make the move, with those types of things. And obviously that's my own opinion, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be a lot of stackers that would probably be pissed if suddenly one day the plug was pulled and they were down to state teams and didn't get accepted into the US team and like on Team USA. But at the same time, that should be more motivation for them to earn their spot, Like when I got on Team USA in 2014, I didn't necessarily deserve it. Like my best in tournament was a state record, like a 3-3 state record that I barely got. I was not very consistent. I was not very fast in consideration. And a lot of people didn't like me at the time. So I don't get that. I don't get that. Why are there still so many stackers? It should be rotated out. It should be. Sorry. You know? Like, stackers like me in that case should have been put on a state team. I don't think they had state teams back then, so I understand, like, obviously. But, like, talking about now, like, those type of stackers should be on state teams. Okay, rant over. Mainly because I'm too thirsty. I'm drinking blue raspberry. I wanted to see if it, like, stained my tongue. But yeah, like I was talking, like, at some point in the future, I would like for Pyra to be a franchise league. Because I've said this before as well, like, I'm not necessarily worried about, you know, people have been talking about my formats and stuff. It's like, it's competitive, but it's too competitive. Like, I'm a slower stacker, so I'm not going to be able to compete with the Orels and the Ians in this type of tournament. That's not my primary focus right now. If I'm being honest, I'm not trying to slight people. I know a lot of people are excited for this type of format. I understand that. My primary focus is the 1%. Are the stackers who have always gotten the back foot, even though they're basically the faces of the sport. I'm talking about the Orels and the Michael Vanners and the Tyler Hollises and the Ians and, you know, the top 1%, 0.1% of stackers in the world. For the other 99%, I feel like with what the WSSA and the IS7 KSSA, what they're all doing, I'm not as worried for them. Like, I'm still going to give them an option if again, my tournaments for the future are likely going to be first come, first serve anyways. So, you know, you'll always have that option. Just know, like, again, you are going to be competing against the best. So you got to bring the best, you know? And more than anything, I want to see top competition. And I think that the franchise league would be perfect for that. Especially if we can get, if we can actually in the future, you know, get franchises involved. Because, I mean, I feel like the sport is wide open for the taking. Like, there's so much potential for this sport, which is why I care this much. I care this much about the sport because I love the sport, and there's so much potential. There's so much potential if it's done correctly. If we can get to the right people, if we can talk to the right people, and we actually show them how competitive the sport already is and how much more competitive it could already be with the right funding and with the right competitive atmosphere involved. That's something I want to, you know, I want to invest in. I've already invested a lot of my money, you know, into this. Like, the budget for my first ever tournament, the All-Stars, was $1,000. I think it was actually a little bit more than that, but obviously we had the prize pool there. That was half of that. And then everybody who worked on the All-Stars got paid. Majority of them got paid before the event. And then all the stackers who won prize money got paid either on the day or the next day of the event, I think, except for Ian because of currency restrictions. And like, also, like, it was extremely difficult with Ian because Ian obviously won and he won the most amount of money, which means that I had to compensate for the payment difference. So I think I actually ended up paying him, I think it was like, he won 250. I actually think I ended up paying him like 275, 300. Because in his currency, it and the fee for it translated back to like 250. I can't remember specifically. But I actually ended up paying more. Which is fine. I'm more than fine with doing that. And understand, I'm going to talk about this on stream, but it's already like in the works. The other form of kind of recognition and the reason for stackers to be coming to these tournaments is something I'm going to be calling the PPR. It stands for Pyro Point Ranking. So, and what this means is for every tournament you go to, you're going to get a specific amount of points for what you compete in, how well you do, all that stuff. And like, for example, Dan Klein, Dan the Man Klein, shoutouts, came to the All-Stars and he got dead last. Feels bad. Happens. Everybody has a bad day of stacking. So even though he's like one of the lower ranked stackers because he got last, but he's not the lowest. He's actually tied for lowest with like 10 other people. Or actually, no, he's not. He's tied for lowest with 3 other people. Excuse me. But he automatically got 10 points just for being there. He got 10 points just for showing up to the tournament. And that's kind of how I plan to do this. So every stacker is going to get a specific amount of points. You're going to get a specific amount of points from your placement in groups. You're going to get a specific amount of points from your placement in the overall tournament itself. So if you don't make it out of groups, you're considered like the bottom half of it because the top half usually make it out of groups. Then you'll get at least 10 points. And for every like round win you get a point. And then for your placement in the tournament itself, if you get like first place, you get a huge amount of points. So even though Chen Keng Ian won the Pyro Cup All-Stars, and it was a landslide, it was not close. He murdered everybody in that tournament. Because Evan Cloud went to both the Pyro Cup All-Stars and Pyro Cup First Strike, and he won Pyro Cup First Strike, he's not only the number 1 ranked stacker in the world by the PPR Pyro Point rankings, he's the number 1 ranked stacker in the world by a wide margin, over 100 points. And on top of that, I know that's kind of confusing. So here's the TLDR. The Pyro Point rankings is going to be very important because it's going to decide who gets invited to tournaments going forward. Now, don't worry, that invited does not mean that those are the only people that are going to show up with the majority of tournaments. It just means that those guys will get first dibs and they will always be given an exception. And on top of that, and this is the big thing, I have not announced this before previously, and I haven't even told the stackers this, but for the next tournament that we plan to do, the top 3 ranked stackers in the world, I listed one of them, it's Evan Cloud. You can probably guess the other 2, but I'm not going to name them. The top 3 ranked stackers in the world under the Pyro Point rankings will also receive traveling expenditures. Assuming we do have an in-person tournament, they will receive a specific amount of money to cover travel costs, flights, hotels, all that stuff. It won't be all costs covered. It'll be a specific amount of money dependent on our budget, but that's what we're looking at right now. And I mean, again, that seems like the bare minimum. Like, we want the best stackers in the world to compete at our tournaments. I know, shocker. And Evan is like clearly shown he is a top stacker. Like, again, I knocked him to the lower bracket round 1, and he beat every single stacker. Ethan, Trey, Maxim, who had an upset run of his own. Everybody in his path to get to the grand finals and then beat my ass there. The finals was close, but still. So that was that. Evan... so Evan's already got that, and I actually have to message him about that once we have the final plan sorted with our tournament, and I can guarantee a specific number for him for travel expenditures. But Evan is one of the 3 stackers that for our next tournament, assuming it's in person, he'll get a specific amount of money to help cover some travel costs. And that's not going to be taken off of, actual prize money that he wins. If he wins anything prize money, that's just going to be added on top. Because, again, that should be kind of a given. I don't want him to use the prize money to cover for just getting to the tournament. What's up, Caden? How you doing? So I've been talking about a lot about, my plans with Pyra and some things we got working around in the background. And I have a specific structure to kind of rank stackers in a bit more of a fair way that keeps them involved in the tournaments and all that stuff. You ordered yellow KSSA Pros yesterday? Nice. The yellows are really good. It's just the ink goes off them too quickly, and it makes it really hard to like properly stack the logos off. So you have to you either have to like consistently wash them, or you have to find some middle ground with it. It's really annoying. But yeah, I'm actually waiting from a message back from a potential venue supplier for our tournament plans. Because I was informed by a little birdie that they might be able to get the venue that we're looking for free. Or at least they'll supply it to us for the day and for preparation and stuff, which would be huge. That would be massive. That's a huge chunk of the budget that we don't have to put towards a venue if that's the case, you know? But on top of that, another thing I'm going to ramble about real quick, and then I'll probably just take some questions and then call it a stream, is the other big element. Because for Pyro tournaments, there are two very important things to me. Two big important things. The tournament itself, that includes like all the prize pool, and the competitions, the brackets, all that stuff. The tournament itself is one hand of it. The other hand of it that we weren't able to do for First Strike, but we obviously were able to do for the All-Stars, was the production. Because I'm somebody who wants a really solid production. I want to put on a show, because that's the other part of it, is that for the stackers who can't compete, or maybe didn't get the option to compete, or aren't fast enough, or whatever the case is, they probably want to watch the top stackers do it, and they probably want a show to be put on. That's the other thing that's really important to me. So I'm working in the background right now. And also, it's really difficult to combine an in-person tournament and a high-quality production. It's extremely difficult, because high-quality productions in in-person tournament environments are extremely difficult, because there's so many factors that have to be accounted for, and there's so many other roles that have to be paid for. It's kind of a head case, but trying to figure out a way for it to work. But I'm not sure if and when those two things will combine. It might have to be the case where we do a little bit of both, where we have one side on the other hand, one side for the in-person tournaments, one side for, the online broadcasts. Because online, I can control the broadcast. The Pyro Cup All-Stars, for the broadcast side of things, that was literally just me. And I ran the entire damn thing. And casted it. If I could get one or two other people to help, cast the event itself and cover the stacking, I mean, technically, we don't need a caster. I would like a caster, obviously. But yeah, that's another element to it. And also, obviously, I've talked about this before. I want to add analysts to the production as well. I know a couple people that would be interested in that as well. Obviously, I want casters to be a part of it. There are some really good Samaritans who worked on the last tournament that we did for Pyra, for the last online tournament, for the first tournament that we ever did for the Pyro Cup All-Stars. And that tournament got so much support, and everybody loved it. And that in part that's where I have to give the other part of the credit for, which was the people who were basically running the tournament itself. For the two people who were making sure the judging was covered, who were the shot callers, ready, set, go. Shoutouts Gabe, shoutouts Dylan. And then shoutouts Eris and Finn, who were making sure the bracket was always covered. So yeah, shout outs to those guys. Why does that look? I see that emote and I literally Yeah, shoutouts Finn. Shoutouts Eris. Those guys were huge. Because they basically ran the entire bracket. And they did it perfectly. Like phenomenal job from them. They made it super easy. So that I could focus on the bracket that was always updated. So I knew which matches were happening, where people were getting sorted in groups. So I could put that on the stream information. If I can find somebody who's good enough to do it, to actually do it, I'm going to try finding somebody who can help run the stream itself. If I can find somebody that can do it, I might straight up just invite them to my house to run the stream from my own computer. Assuming we had online tournaments for that type of thing. And I'd just have them run the broadcast itself so that I can focus on either analyzing as like an analyst or casting some of the matches themselves. You know the vibes. But yeah, shoutouts to the Pyro team. Sorry, I was typing something else. Somewhere else. But yeah, I got plans. If you guys have any other questions for me about Pyro tournaments, about Pyra, about me, about whatever, you're more than welcome to let me know. If I think of anything else in the next couple minutes, I'll bring it up. And if not, I'll just end stream. Because I'm like that. Oh! Merchandise. I had plans to get some Pyra apparel merchandise stuff sold before the end of the year. That plan was unsuccessful. I had issues with the provider, and a lot of the stuff we have to make ourselves as well. So we had to like resource products and stuff for that. We don't have to make ourselves. We choose to because it's way easier and way cheaper. And we also have more limit control so that we don't have to worry about buying in bulk from other sources, and we always resource that back to ourselves. But what I will say is 2022, it will come. I can't mark a date yet until I have other things solidified, until I have other stuff solidified. But yeah. I'd love to host a Pyro tournament myself. What would I need? It depends on the scale of it. Like, is it going to be an in-person tournament? Is it going to be an online tournament? How many stackers are you looking to have? Are those stackers region limited? Bunch of different variables, and also how much are you willing to put up front with a budget? Because I'm not made of money, and neither are the very few sponsors. Oh, I guess that's another thing. We're working on sponsors as well. Other than Advance. Shout out to Advance. These guys have been lovely. They helped so much with the first tournament. But yeah. Like, I don't know how much they are willing to supply, because I'm already having, like, I'm in talks with one or two, and I'm trying to talk through everything we're trying to do. And it's, I won't say it's not happening per se. It's more so like I can't bring good news to that conversation just yet until there are deals in writing. But you would have to provide at least some cash up front. We can try to provide what we can. It just depends on what you're willing to invest into it yourself. Mediums Pog, yeah. They're right behind me. I stopped stacking a while ago because I was satisfied with the times I got. But yeah, that's another thing, is I want more tournament directors on board. I'm actually already speaking to a couple. I'm not sure if I can name any names yet. One of which actually showed up to First Strike. I say that with confidence. At least that they're interested and they want to kind of ride the train with me. I 100% want more tournament directors. Another one I really want to get on board is Glenn. I could straight up say this because I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'd love to talk to him again. Glenn Costello for next year. That would be a huge tournament. And if he can direct it, I can focus more on broadcasting and providing funds towards it. And, I can kind of talk to him about the incentives and all that stuff. But yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I would give a little bit more lenience towards Glenn because I know his tournaments and they're phenomenal. And I've been to his tournaments for 5 years, for 5 years in a row. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Yeah, 5 years. I'd love to get Glenn on board. Any other questions about the tournament? I think that's Eris. You said it was Eris, right? Yeah. You can always DM me later, Eris. We're gonna get a Discord later about a possibly hosting tournament. Gotta go now. Okay, cool. Sounds good. See you soon. Yeah. I'll take like 2 more minutes for questions, and if we don't get any super spicy ones or anything, then we'll just call it there. But yeah, TLDR, got a lot planned for next year. If you thought that this year for Pyro was good, just you fucking wait. Just you wait. We got plans, baby. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man? And again, shout outs Advanced for all they've helped me done. I think this is Tectone is his name. Very big content creator, apparently. But I think it's more Minecraft. I think. I don't know. Shaker bottle, very good. Keeps your drink cold. A little bit too cold, honestly. Because like every time I drank it for the first couple times, for the first couple sips, it like actually made my teeth in the front pretty cold, which is annoying. But no, that's good. Are there any plans on Pyro reaching other countries? Yes. I mean, I was literally just talking about Eris, so there's Canada. But I am in big discussions with 2 other major countries, not anywhere in the US or North America for tournaments. But I at the same time, I don't have anything in writing. I can't make any promises, but I have some plans. I'd like to get some more people on board. I can't give any false confidence though until there are signatures in writing and I got people committed to specific roles and funds for it, obviously. But yeah, there are plans. 100% there are plans. All right. On that note, gamers, I'm going to call it a stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Hope I shed some good insight about my plans and my aspirations for Pyra. Got big plans. And we're going to go with plans regardless on people help us or not. So just be prepared because I think 2022 is going to be an even bigger year by a long shot. So keep your eyes peeled. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. And I hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, good day, and good night. See you guys later.